What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Codex and Candle, your one-stop shop for all things relaxing, ASMR, and RPG. This is my first video, and I hope it's the first of many World of Warcraft videos. I've always wanted to make video Let's Plays or playthroughs, but from a more ASMR, relaxing, laid-back style. I don't expect to give deep analysis or any sort of tutorial advice through this playthrough, but rather this is my moment to, or I guess I should say, this is my invitation to you to join me as I take a journey through World of Warcraft, specifically gearing up to play World of Warcraft Midnight when it releases in June or however early, maybe May in 2026. Very much looking forward to that. With that being said, I thought it was appropriate that we would start this playthrough with a Blood Elf, because one of the main areas that is going to be altered in World of Warcraft Midnight is the Eversong Woods. Just a bit of background about me in terms of my relationship with World of Warcraft. I consider myself rather noobish in the sense that while I have been playing World of Warcraft a bit, I have been around the block. For example, if you can see my achievements, I have some achievements. Let's say if you go to like exploration from like 2014, I've been playing World of Warcraft a little bit before then. I started right around Mists of Pandaria. Nevertheless, I never really max leveled. I've never taken it super seriously. For me, it's a game of nostalgia. It's a game of happiness. It's a game of pleasure, bliss, and joy. And so my goal is to just enjoy playing it and share that joy with you, to talk about whatever comes to my mind as I play, as we ramp up to be max level by the time WoW Midnight drops. And then we can explore how the story transforms from the Burning Crusade version of the Eversong Woods and Silvermoon City to the WoW Midnight upcoming edition. So with that being said, one of the first things I really want to do is just explain my name. Lan Loran. Okay, if anybody watching has played World of Warcraft before, you will know that one of the first things you have to do is create a character. I chose to be a warlock because I find that a fascinating class, but one of the other things you have to do is name the character, and you cannot name your character anything that is not already in the database of World of Warcraft. And so I just kind of hit the dice, which gives you a random generated name, and this came up, Lan Loran, and I just thought it was hilarious, so we're going to keep it. Another thing that needs to be said is I'm a big fan of the pets. I don't have all the pets. Like I said, I'm rather noobish at World of Warcraft. Please do not expect any sort of prowess or expertise or tutorial-like genius through this playthrough. But nevertheless, I do enjoy pets. I remember when it first came out, it reminded me of Pokemon. So let's find a friend to follow us. Someone who is appropriate. Let's see. The book I always found, this Folio book, is much more impressive in my opinion in the icon. Though I don't know if anyone... You know what? Charlie's going to join us. Alright, Charlie. So Magistrix Arona is our first stop in the starting area of the Sunstrider Isle. Let's just orient ourselves. So we have C, his character. We've got one ability, Shadow Bolt. 4 mana. Sends a shadowy bolt at the enemy, causing 15 shadow damage. Sounds about right. We have one thing in our bag, which is a Hearthstone, which brings us back to Sunstrider Isle. Reclaiming Sunstrider Isle. The sooner you begin your education, Lan Loran, the better for us all. I think I'm just going to say Lan. Or should I say Lo? Or Lauren? I think Lan. So I gotta begin my education. There is little room for error, so listen closely. The burning crystals, the green floating objects to the west of the Sunspire here, have long been used to power the Isle's experimentations. The mana worms were their guardians, but the scourge invasion of Kel'Thalas has driven them errant from our lack of magical control over them. There is little choice but to thin their numbers for reclamation. Do this, then return to me. Okay. So, the mana worms are kind of going crazy. because of the Scourge of Invasion. Now again, like lore-wise, we're going to be quite a bit in the past, considering this is a Burning Crusade zone as far as I know. But I think it should be interesting. Over the course of maybe half a year, I plan on putting out a video a day, about a half hour to an hour of video. Watch as you will, as you like. If you're bored, click off. If you enjoy it, put it on in the background. Just let the music, for me, nostalgic, this music of Sunstrider Isle, the starting zone of the Blood Elves. I find the Blood Elf backstory fascinating, but nevertheless, I think it should be interesting to kind of see the story unfold, watch ourselves progress to the Ghostlands and the areas associated kind of peripheral to the Blood Elf starting zone, and then watch how that transforms when Wild Midnight drops. So if we kill them, we get a worm sash.
The reckoning is at hand.
Let's get this show on the road. There might be points where I talk about different things. There might be others where I just kind of let the game do its magic. If there's anyone listening who is still with me, I mean, this is video 1. I have a realistic expectation of what to expect from this YouTube video. We have an oversaturated video game, let's play, playthrough sort of field right now. I have no expectations this is going to generate any views, but in the event that in the future, if somehow this, kind of gains some traction, if somehow I succeed in making a number of videos that attract enough interest, and someone finds themselves back on this initial playthrough, if you're listening and you find yourself interested in history or shorts, I have a separate YouTube channel. It's called Commonplace History, where I post 2 shorts a day on the subjects of history, fiction, and oddity. Shameless plug here. Feel free to follow me over there if you find that interesting. I'll talk about that in a bit more. I'll talk about that a bit more in a minute.
What business have you?
Reclaiming Sunstrider Isle. So we want to reclaim the Isle. You've successfully completed your first task. For that, you are to be congratulated. Such success gives me faith that you will turn out better than those young blood elves who failed to heed the lessons of their masters. Continued success will be rewarded, not only with knowledge, but also with tangible rewards as well. Your work here, however, is not finished. There is much more to learn, my young friend.
Keep your wits about you.
Corruption corrupts the target, causing 4 shadow damage and an additional 27 damage over 14 seconds. Okay. Your effort, so unfortunate measures. Your effort has made something clear that, honestly, I wish were not true. The unchecked power of the burning crystals has maligned a much larger swath of the Isle's natural balance than I thought. We must now take on more unfortunate measures to reclaim control. The nearby lynxes have succumbed to the influence of the crystals, and they must be put down. Bring their collars, Lan Loran, or as I said, I'm just going to say Lan, because Lan Loran sounds like Lan Loran chicken and ham. I don't know. Alright. Bring their collars, Lan, as I may yet be able to fashion a magical restraint to turn some back from being uncontrolled. So there's this lack of control, this suffused magic that spreads throughout the Isles, but nevertheless seems to be lacking control. So we're trying to rein it in, bring it back. Magic being associated with a lack of control, with an excess. It reminds me of wild magic in D&D. Also, if you're interested, I'm planning on doing a playthrough as well of Baldur's Gate 3, one of my favorite games of all time. Again, in this kind of style, chatty, not really giving analysis, but what I mean by analysis is like, I'm not going to get in the nitty gritty of the mechanics too much. The focus is to be, this is an ASMR kind of relaxed experience. Anyways, don't tell, but show. That's the rule of all good literature, and so it's surely the rule of all good playthroughs.
Be ready for anything.
So we want to equip our worm sash. It looks Fabulous. One armor. Didn't really do anything other than change our aesthetic. But we have a job to do. We have to go and kill lynxes. Look at that sun. Well, it's not a sun. Look at that sky. The purple haze. It lulls me into a repose. The music truly brings me back to the past, to a world before COVID. Everything just felt simple. I'm sure all of you have seen those reels or YouTube shorts or TikTok videos where it's like 90s nostalgia. I'm not sure how many of you remember the 90s. But something about WoW brings me to early 2000s, 2010s. It felt like a different world. When I look at that purple sky with the stars and the spire, the sun spire looming in the distance, it brings me peace in some way that I can't describe. There's something about World of Warcraft that gets to the soul. Yes, the graphics are not anything really to write home about. There's nothing truly miraculous about the mechanics. There's something pleasing, something aesthetically pleasing about the way it looks, the way it sounds, especially if you've been around the block a little while. But especially if you've played WoW for a little while. I'm out of range, indeed. And look, a spring calling's prowling right next to a group of children, and there's just the distance, unaware that these children and their kitty are at risk. But never fear, I am here. What in the world are you doing? He's sleeping. For the love of... Charlie, my friend. Do you see the shit? Like, where? He's not even dressed. Charlie. I'm so sorry, Nova. I'm so sorry, Jane. And I'm so sorry, beautiful kitty. Let's go, Charlie. We have a job to do. We have 2 more to get. We have 6 out of 8. A little window into my life. I did 4 or so videos of a WoW playthrough about a week ago, playing on my Samsung Galaxy laptop that was 5 years old. It recorded such abysmal stuttering, but now unwatchable doggerel that I shuddered to release it to the world. And so I deleted those videos. I was doing a Worgen playthrough. A playthrough that I find very appealing. I've always found the Worgen starting zone to be very intriguing. It's one of the things I've always loved about World of Warcraft is how every character has its own starting zone. Though my first tune ever, it was like I think 2011 or 12, was a Blood Elf. The reason I'm doing a Blood Elf, folks, is if you didn't get it in the beginning, I'm doing a Blood Elf because in 2026, in the spring, like late spring, early summer, Blizzard is releasing World of Warcraft Midnight, which will focus. One of the new and improved environments is the environment I'm in now, well, adjacent to it, which is the Eversong Woods. And I'm very curious. So after that moment, this environment, this whole starting area is going to be a lot different. And I'm excited to see how that changes, and I'm excited to come back at max level and experience that playthrough as a Blood Elf. Blood Elves feature heavily in the story of World of Warcraft Midnight. Check out the epic cinematic, the reveal cinematic, or the live gameplay. It's beautiful in my opinion. I know there's a lot of controversy around Blizzard these days. I'm a simple guy, easy to please. I'm not the hardest customer to please. But as I was saying, I recorded 4 videos, about 2 hours worth of content. And sad to say, I was like, I can't do this. There's no way. And so I built a computer, a pretty good one, which I'm playing on now. Excited to see how it comes out. So we've done our duty.
State your business.
Unfortunate measures. It gives me no pleasure to ask you to destroy these beasts. While in times past we have lived in relative harmony with woodland creatures, These are different times. The first order of business for all Sindori is survival. Make sure you remember that.
We will have justice.
Your attire seems okay, there's something going on over there. Ethereal warp weaver transmorphier. So they're transmorphing. Okay. The tower and surrounding areas should now be relatively secure, though only for the time being. You have done well in providing us with a buffer of security, but we will need to reassert control over the entire isle if we are to survive here in the long run. This will involve tackling much greater threats than errant mana-worms and lynxes. Take this, Lan. You will no doubt make good use of it for the tasks to come. They speak of this sunrise bracer as if it's something magnificent, and I know this is a legacy of Burning Crusades when literally this was cutting edge, but it's not really that great. And I've completed 25 quests. That's a lie, I did that years ago. But every time you do a new playthrough, you get these new and improved achievements. So I got a new ability, Summon Imp. 1 soul shard. It's like 2 a.m. here in New York City. That is where yours truly is from. Well, not from. It's where I am. So I'm reading, perhaps not the best as I should. So Summon Imp. Summons an imp under your command that casts ranged firebolts. And there's Apatog. Is there a way to rename Apatog? Okay. Let's read this real quick and then we'll see if we can rename Apatog. You are to report to my assistant, Lan. Whoa. So I thought this was me. I'm Lan Loran. But we have Lanth and Paralyn. So we have Lan and Lan. He will instruct you on what needs to be done next. While we here at the Sunspire will continue to reign in the burning crystals, you will be focused on a more pressing matter concerning Felthrian Academy. Lanthan will explain fully when you speak to him. Simply walk west of here along the path, and you should see him standing close by. Good luck, Lan. Your continued successes shall be rewarded.
Death to all who oppose us.
So we have Abatog. It doesn't look like we could rename him. Alright. I'm not going to waste my time. We have a number of quests, but I think... Should we explore a little? Let's go around and explore a little. So we have our mail, some guards. I always love these brooms. I found them fascinating.
Inaugural Delana.
There is more to magic than just arcane gesticulations, but I am speaking to someone who already knows this, yes? You come to me to learn, and learn you will, just so long as you pay attention and do as I say. The secrets of the demons do not cater to fools, and neither do I. Well,
the reckoning is at hand.
He seems nice. Okay, don't want to kill the cat. I almost clicked attack. I believe there's a quest at the top, if my memory is not mistaken. I am myself a cat person. I'd be mortified if I killed a cat. I gotta be honest, I don't think Charlie is really meshing. Let's see, what are my other options? A tarantula? Undercity roach? I don't think so. A kitten? What if we were to pretend that I was walking around Sunstrider Isle and this sand kitten who shall forever be named... Let's see. Let's call him Pandy. I don't know if anyone here is a fan of Gabby's Dollhouse. It's a weird thing to say, isn't it? Bye, Charlie. We've got Pandy here. Gabby's Dollhouse. I can't say I'm a fan, but in my own way, I'm connected to the show. So let's talk to Well Watcher Solana.
Anaria Shola.
The Sunspire held a beautiful vantage on the Sunwell once. Our lives have been turned upside down, Lan. But we nonetheless carry on. It is our way. We are survivors. If you are to survive this upheaval, to carry on in your own right, then you must learn how to survive. All blood elves must do this. You must master your insatiable hungering for magic before it masters you. So there's this Sunwell, this beautiful thing that channeled the magic, and there's something going on since some event that's happening that we're trying to reckon with them. I know that it's easy to know what the lore is, but Land doesn't know. Neither does Pandy. But we know we need to master this insatiable appetite for using magic, that it's something that we should control, that we should use with prudence, that we should use with justice, that we should use with temperance, and not just try to use it to dominate. I love that about the Blood Elf backstory. It's all about the loss of control and the zeal to gain it back again, to use this wild magic in some sense, to harness this force and, well, do something with it.
We will have
The
justice.
Shrine of Dathramar. Day after day I stand here, watching, waiting. I've been accused of dwelling too much on our past, while my eyes look to the horizon. You and me both, well, Watcher Solanian. Again, if you're interested in history, check out Commonplace History for your for your one-stop shop, I should say, for history, fiction, and oddity. Shameless plug aside, let's continue. But it is my firm belief that each visitor to this island should honor those who have sacrificed all so they may continue to do so. Dothramar Sunstrider was our first king. He led us here from Kelimdor through the Maelstrom. Seek out his shrine to the west, and do not return to me until you have read the plaque upon it in his honor. You know what? I think that's a fitting place to end.
Keep your wits about you.
We will continue tomorrow. But for now, let's read the plaque. On the Shrine of Dothramar, let's learn a little bit about the backstory that will play a heavy role in the journey to come, and the journey that will lead us to an invasion at midnight, the darkest hour, the witching hour. It will be upon us, and when it comes, we will be ready. We will be ready, folks. Hopefully we'll max level by then. We'll get a little bit of this noob blood out. That is to say, my noobification. It's been a long while since I played World of Warcraft, and so we're gonna have to relearn the ropes. But this is not where we're meant to be. This is the other land. We'll talk to him tomorrow. Look at this vista. I don't know, something about this and the graphics attracts me. It brings me back to an era when N64 was a hot console, and you know, it's so retro and nostalgic. You know, I love Baldur's Gate 3, which I will be doing a playthrough on. But nevertheless, even though this doesn't really hold a candle to Baldur's Gate 3 or to games of equivalent graphical prowess, nevertheless, there's something aesthetically pleasing and beautiful, something serene and calming about looking off into the sea, staring, sitting, tucking my knees into my hands, just taking a deep breath of the air. I almost said of the Faerunian air, but Faerun is the Forgotten Realms. I have to learn what this is. Azeroth, is it not? Let's go to map. So we can go, yeah, I know. Okay, great. We can go to Eversong Woods. So we can zoom out a bit. So we're in the Sunstrider Isle. Eversong Woods is like over here. We have the Ghostlands. We are in the Eastern Kingdom of Azeroth. Of the world of Azeroth, which corresponds, however tenuously, to Draenor, Outland, and Shadowlands. So as you look out to the azure, amethyst, night sky of Azeroth, something about this vista just calls to mind contemplations, calls to mind my own life. And as I sit here, I get lost in this moment, as if this is the only moment that is. You know, in the past, I often found myself playing WoW to escape, to procrastinate, and I found myself getting lost in this world, even though I wasn't really a proficient World of Warcraft player. I never really played it to be a master battleground player, PvP, to really be an expert tank and, dungeons or raids, or to be a lauded and masterful guild master. Nevertheless, looks like some people are having a conversation. Seeing people actually leveling here is such a throwback. It's a great feeling. Yeah, word. It really is a throwback. I came to Azeroth not to be any of those things that I just mentioned, but rather to escape and to lose myself in another realm. And I feel that feeling now. And I hope you do too. Let's see what this plaque has to say. Got some acrobatics going on. You have discovered the location of the shrine. Upon further examination, you sense a stronger pulse of the strange power that has gripped the isle. You feel a bit uncomfortable standing by the shrine, and perhaps a little disturbed. The bronze placard along the side of the shrine reads, "Here stands the shrine of Dothramar, a fitting tribute to a noble elf. Let all who gaze upon this monument remember his sacrifices for our people, and his dedication to the cause of our continued survival. All who prosper in Kel'Thalas do so thanks to him." And it is at this moment, folks, that I think I shall leave you. And I hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, friends. This is Codex and Candle. I wish you a lovely evening, a sweet night, and fantastic, fantastic dreams.